Right. Numbers we're going to talk about in terms of the changes today represent the decision for year end 2024. Just so we get a finance minister around where we're in quite a degree of detail. So I'll learn about the key advice here, but then questions. So key points to stress, we reported a technical 7.8 surplus at the end of the financial year after adjusting for capital donations and grants. Effectively delivered a 23 surplus against our break-even plan. So essentially we delivered the plan. Key variances which we saw in month 12, we released some deferred income, which was required to happen. We saw continued high performance on clinical income, which is driven ERF payments. Should report that you'll see some material variation on both pay and income. That relates to the fact that we transacted the year-end pension adjustment for clinicians. That was £9 million went through in period. I guess a couple of points to reflect on in year end in terms of key themes, nothing particularly new. ERF year end, we've reported 15.5 million over the start of August. So essentially our breaking position is very significant. Divided back we were trading in terms of efficiency, we've delivered our requirements of 17.5 million. That's not previous, sorry, but a very significant majority of that to went current. And therefore our challenges going to the new year, which we'll talk about in front of later, are the materials. So clearly we are going to move the dial on our efficiency performance going forward. In terms of capital, I previously reported that we secured the 1 million from our regulatory friends in terms of the ask we've been putting forward all year, and we fully spent our plan, so we spent 1.4 million capital year end, exactly in line with the plan. There's two final things to flag. Cash, we've got a reasonably healthy balance at year end, 7.2 million. We talked about this at finance committee, clearly given some of our challenges around deficit next year, that will increase in both. Reports on board regularly. External audit started their work last week. They're on site now, they're doing their work. They'll be working until June when we bring the final accounts to finance committee and boards. But now a lot of our attention is turned towards 2025. So we'll talk about that later. Lots of stuff going on, but really running a bit of a challenging financial year.
Okay. Have we got any questions?
Just one thing I know, the split between recurring and non-recurring, is the non-recurring at the moment principally the additional funding we've received? What's the
A big proportion of it is the year.
And that predicated on the fact that our volume were faculty what about 130% versus
Activity is about 150% in financial terms. Once you adjust for the relative tariff rates, it's about 124%.
got you. And that's not, I want to know what you plan for next year, is it?
And on essentially the same levels.
Yeah. Got you.
Go to the workplace.
So the code pack starts at page 65. So this is effectively our end of year report as well for the workforce. We've done really well this year on reducing temporary staffing usage. This is a result of lots of smaller interventions, lots of smaller programs of work. So I have to mention that all the recruitment that's taken place over the year, international recruitment, domestic recruitment, targeted recruitment plans, targeted posts, lots of innovative and interesting ways of trying to get people interested in working here. They've all borne fruit, and we've managed to increase our headcount and fill all of our vacancies. In parallel with that, tremendous amount of work from the nursing teams, the HR teams on rostering, making the best use of the staff that we have in post, making sure that we're using all our contracted hours and we're producing fair rosters well in advance, which we know staff really value. Throughout the year, during the year rather, we had an assessment from Allocate, who are the rostering provider, and they're it's fair to say that we by far the biggest player in the marketplace. So the experts to look at another system which we thought might give us efficiency. When they came in and did our assessment, the salesperson actually said to us, "We're not going to recommend this system for you to buy because actually it's one of the best prices we've ever seen." And so that's really helped us grow our temporary staff and used down from salesperson to say that to us, not sales assistant. This was that way as a win for the teams So a big shout out to the nursing teams and the HR teams for all the tremendous amount of work that's been done this year. Headcount, as I talked about, continues to grow because we're filling our vacancies. Staff absence, 12.7%. It's within the tolerance target that we've set. Lots of work going on across the trust in managing absence and helping people get back to work as quickly as they can. We agreed at last fall that we do the fast track options for into services for staff who are off for occupational health, so that work will continue. Turnover, very frustratingly, is marring our old green sweep of targets for this year by 0.1%. So we nearly got down to 12.5%, which is our target. But when you think about where we started the year, that's phenomenal. The teams across the organisation have done a really good job of helping people when they say they're going to leave, working out if there's anything we can do to keep them. So lots of hard work on across the organisation for that. Statutory mandatory training and appraisals, again, still in the green. The teams do really well to stay at that because it only takes a small number of people to be delayed for that to go off track. So lots of good work going on across the organisation. Roger Klein has been in the trust for the last few weeks, talking to many groups of staff as part of our board commission pieces of work. That's gone well, and Roger is now he's on holiday for a couple of weeks, and he's going to draft a report for us. The Freedom to Speak annual report is going to go to the Workforce Committee, and then will be submitted to the board. So that will come through in due time. And it's fair to say a tremendous amount of work's going on at the moment in terms of operational workforce planning, and that's in conjunction with the operational teams and Jonathan's team, feeding back into the LMK and to region from planning for the year. So I think it's been a reasonably successful year for workforce, and I think as it's the year end, I think the thing we're probably most proud of are filling the vacancies and the rostering work which is going on.
That's a shame about that.
If someone did suggest at the beginning of the year, you should make it should be 13%. I'm superstitious about like 13. Let's go to 12.5.
You've not got your roundings right.
Yes.
And I think that's the wider team. As you said, that's things one is important. So it's really good news. Yeah, it's a small point. I think it's going to July. I think workforce has moved to July. It's only because I'm having diary.
We've got May, and then there's a June. The board is forward slightly to July.
Yeah. It's not sorted in my head. I've got too many meetings going on. Yeah. So any other comments or questions? Can't see anything in mind. Well done. It's brilliant. Very good. Excellent. So that's all of the reports. So we move on to the assurance and statutory items. So the quality priorities. Yes.
This is a piece of it. It's actually approved by the governors, and it has been to the governors already. So it's a slightly first process. So as members of the board, some may be aware, some maybe not. Every year, as part of our annual reporting, we produce a quality account. And the format of that account is mandated, so it's very prescriptive around what it has to contain. And every year it has to contain quality priorities for the financial year. And it's one of the roles of the governors to select these quality priorities. And we have agreed with the governors that the priorities that were selected 24-25 are to continue an existing priorities, which is a focus on sepsis management improvements. And that's particularly because market law has been introduced around second opinion deteriorating patients, and then we've got a big improvement program on sepsis management. The second priority is reducing the number of complaints that cite poor communication as the main reason for the complaint, and that's to target thematic issues around our patient surveys and across our complaints that raise poor communication. And the third one is to reduce the number of falls, inpatient falls. In the organisation, and that's also an existing quality improvement programme. So we recommended these priorities to the governors because they aligned with existing improvement programmes, so that we had some congruence across our priorities and our improvement work. We will track these quality improvements as part of our integrated quality governance reports, so that we keep reporting these back to the board on a bi-monthly basis. But it is here to note it's not required for approval at the board because the governor, the council of governors is the approving body that it's just here.
What's the end?
So I have a comment recognising it's here to note rather than to approve, and there's just a bit of nervousness about the records going path as a rule. You know, the NHS England has decided that would be implemented with those trusts that have IT outreach teams, which by definition not one of Martha's recommendation. Just how we manage expectations with governments. Rules to the sepsis agreement.
So the actual the quality improvement is continuing focus on sepsis analysis. The Martha's rule was just some context around it.
But by definition, Martha's rule won't be happening here this year unless.
Yes. Thank you very much. The declarations of interest record.
This is a tremendous piece of work led by Kelly and the Trust Secretariat. It's one of those things that happens sort of invisibly in the background, but it's a huge amount of work and it's part of our statutory declarations. It sort of speaks for itself, really. It's here for information primarily. It's a document that's published and is available publicly. And it's important, obviously, that it's up to date. So it includes declarations from decision makers in the organisation, and that clearly includes the trust board, it includes consultants, and it includes other managers, decision making staff. And there's also a register of gifts. Two things: registers of interest, where there may be conflicts or perceived conflicts, and a register of gifts and hospitality separately, which are declared throughout the year. Those who are asked to complete a return are asked to complete a positive or negative return. So there's nothing to declare. You are still asked to declare nothing. So we do need to work on compliance. So the board is very compliant, but there is variable compliance across other groups. So we do need to work on ensuring that that number continues to make its way up to 100%. Because we do expect there is an expectation that everybody who must declare will declare their interest. And Kerry will continue to work on that with the team.
Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, my update of declarations isn't shown in this. And I, independently of needing to do it, I spotted that things were missing a couple of months ago, so I did submit a fuller list on the 10th of April. So, you know, in defence of the Secretariat, it's possible it missed the report deadline, but should I resend it or?
So that we can update.
Yeah.
And in terms of wider cohort, the compliance piece, what's the consequences if the senior leader year in, year out doesn't populate this? There might be all kinds of reasons, just purely not bothering to do it at time. What's
So we would go through line management or professional management routes to encourage compliance. And we would probably, I mean, it's a personal risk issue. It leaves people open to accusations of fraud, or any other conflict. So it's making sure people are aware of that, and I think it's a continual education programme. So we will keep working on that throughout the year.
maybe people can advise to take on time to populate, and of course it's relatively quick, isn't it? Sure.
Sorry, I have made a mistake in my declarations. Not about me. Harrison is a exec for the DHSC, and therefore she has to tick the yes box for position of authority. Build a plan, etc.
As an action we will take to recirculate form to all members so we can make sure that they're completely up to date. And this will, so we will take this as an ongoing piece of work. It may be that the audit committee wants to have a look at this in 3 months' time to see where compliance is tracked.
Yeah, just this one, I haven't had unfortunately responsibility for this in my previous trust. It's the consultants, whereas biggest risk in terms of perception, because you get pharmacy companies, for example, publish if there's made. I think we have to get the consultant number up, so I think we need to work on how we manage that one over the year.
Yeah, and I think the point I picked on that, Johnson, got with declaring different things like attendance at conferences, but, and there's very small things like got a bar of chocolate, you know, so it's quite difficult, isn't it? So that they're likely picking up the things we should be picking up, that people might not be thinking they're showing on here, or is it just about making people encouraging them to take it on through?
Anything else on that matter? No, thank you very much, Kate. Risk register report.
Yes, there's two items, 15 and 16, so the item 15 is the very detailed risk register report. So there is a covering report that shows the movement around significant risks in the organisation, so significant corporate risk registers. So it's the big sort of ledger document around risks, and there is some summary reporting here around where corporate and divisional risks are linked. I'm very happy to take questions. I'm going to propose to go through the various different risks. The report's very self-explanatory. We bring it here for transparency, really more than public transparency. Obviously, it's dealt with in detail in different operational meetings in the organisation. What's going to do QCRC and audit committee from the board's perspective as well.
I was going to suggest at some point, the lids are all going to really slump in their chair, but maybe at some point you might get together with the man who's in a bottom. Paul, thank you. For a half-hour session, even if we could get him to tag on to end of another meeting, like to just talk risk register at some point, or I know go through the committee journey, but
I think we've got a long list of things we want to do to improve the report, and a key hurdle has been resources to get onto it. So I think it's worth refreshing what we'd like it to look like and how we'd like to use it, because we've had some session and that useful. And the second thing, because we're not there yet, the integration with the boards, all sorts of things like this. The other part we've made is that the risk framework and risk management from an ICP is moving on, and that's quite an interesting development in terms of how we're looking at risk factors and assessing risk factors, and we ought to just ensure that we align with the best thought process that's going on there. It seems like quite a lot of resources just focused on working systems risk, but I think it's really allowed spending a bit of time on it. A refresher on where we are on our progress along the broader improvement.
Bath.
So similarly, the board assurance framework. So Paul has been doing some work on wider risk profile, trying to look at heat maps and profiling across BLMK. There obviously is work going on in the system around risk management, which we very much want to be part of through those shared committees, and board assurance framework particularly will need to be part of that. We've talked before about getting on how we escalate on and off system risks, etc., and we'll need to work actually with the LSCB. Otherwise, the board assurance framework is here for comment on the further risks or the risk owners. Paul is meeting with various different risk owners, and where there are gaps, they are waiting to be filled.
Can I just ask a question about industrial action? I probably should know, but I'm excited on kind of what the plans, I shouldn't say planning really, but what are we aware of that might be happening? Because some matters have been resolved, haven't they?
The consultants has been resolved. SAS doctors still have an active mandate to go on strike, haven't done yet. We would certainly SAS doctors were to go on strike in this organisation. Junior doctors also have a live and renewed mandate. High level of concern that could turn into further action once GPs are in dispute. Not all that.
That's to understand.
I suppose just on that note, if I may, all of the activity planning targets, financials are all predicated on no further rights. 200, for example, that we talked about earlier, is predicated on no further.
Summary reports from committees. We haven't got a document, have we?
no, it's going to be a bar one.
Yeah. Would it be putting people on the spot if I looked round for just anything that you thought you wanted to raise, Gary, from audit?
No, I mean, I think it was summarised, I think it was our last time, just a revisit, but make it much more alive, which is what we've been discussing, and integrated into the decision making process and turning it from a register into a proactive management document. But that's all been discussed. We're on the issues, just resources. Not what was.
Is there anything you'd like to raise from quality?
Sorry.
I think if I get away with it, don't know, see where you can pick, because Jonathan's already done it. But I think that focus on going forward, the sustainable position is, efficiency position is absolutely key. And I've only chaired one workforce committee, I will chair the next. I think really good work, and you've just
Can I say, Heidi, as a member of the FIC committee, at least for a few more days, just well done. Involved in the month 12 outturn. Because I don't feel really we did do that a moment ago when Jonathan was reporting, and despite the non-recurring element of it, I think it was a very good performance, and the C down on capital as well was a long sought after response we got. So I think generally, the efficiency is being hit. I think there was a great deal of good work.
well, and I think
It should be acknowledged.
the charity committee report to COG was a good, very good year, very clear, and so then the FIC committee report, the finance report that I did was obviously quite intense, but I do think it reflects the amount of activity that's happening in the finance directorate throughout the whole year. So
The team done already.
yeah, I think what committee have I missed?
That's your sheriff's group, subcommittee,
Ah, yes.
which has met,
Yes.
has nothing to report.
I knew I'd missed one. Thank you very much. Okay, forward agenda planner. Anything anybody wants to comment on forward items? A couple of comments today. Especially on that will be in the minutes for us to be able to look up, so we can pick that up when we're looking at it. Kenny? Nothing from anyone else? No, that's something, thank you. I'm not aware of any questions, but no, we don't think we have any
Think what's there?
questions from the public.
I've got one, I don't know if it was. Yes, last
What
night.
process normally is it done?
No, it should be a written submission
Submission.
or
So
second.
could they write it and send it in? That would be really good.
Yeah.
Therefore, am I doing A or B afterwards? Where's A or B? So I think we can close the meeting. I won't go around asking people how they thought the meeting went for them, because we're such a broad team, but I think if anyone ever wants to give me any feedback, I'm saying to somebody already that they can always email. I'm very happy to receive emails from people. Comment on.
Well, that was a bunch of numbers.
So thank you very much, everyone. I'm meeting to a close. To meet you soon, Stephen.